Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in yet again. We are looking at another Santa Ana wind of significant potential for very dry air and gusty winds occurring midweek. This is Alex Tardy, National Weather Service meteorologist. Here are the highlights up front. We have a new red flag warning in effect. We also have high wind watches that have been issued and will also be in effect for the same period. The Santa Ana wind that we expect to see developing is the strongest of the season in some areas, and at least as windy as October 24th, 25th. We have very dry air that is expected to come in for Wednesday and Thursday. This presents itself as very high fire danger. It'll also be cold. Our mountain valleys and wind-sheltered areas Thursday and Friday morning, and a freeze watch has been issued for some of the high deserts. We have some good news that light daily winds and warmer conditions are expected Friday into the weekend. The warm and dry conditions, though, should continue through early part of November, possibly into mid-November. Here's the peak winds that we saw today. This is Monday peak winds. And you can see some locations in the wind-prone areas hit 60 miles per hour. Most of the typical windy areas were 30 to 45 miles per hour as shown here. Here are some common questions and answers about Santa Ana wind. And at your leisure, take time or pause the video to review some of this information. All right, the current hazards that are in effect are shown here. This is right off of weather.gov. So as soon as we issue them, this map and other maps will update. The current red flag is set to expire today, and then a new red flag will take in effect for Tuesday night all the way through Thursday, 6 p.m. There's also a high wind watch, a new one that's been issued. Okay, and we also have issued a freeze watch as shown in the high deserts. Here's a look at the weather pattern that's driving this and future Santa Ana wind events this week. Upper level high pressure over the eastern Pacific, amplified we call it. That's forcing the storms to go up and over and dig across the Great Basin. That draws in the very cold air and the snow and rain over the Rockies and not our area, and sets up the surface high pressure that in essence creates the offshore flow or the Santa Ana wind. We expect this to really amplify and be at a peak on Wednesday and Thursday. So this looks like a repeat of what we just saw Sunday, Monday, and this is going to impact our region Wednesday and Thursday. Strong pressure gradient and very strong surface high pressure over the Rockies, allowing that wind to blow from high to low pressure as shown on the right-hand side. The storm system that creates the rain and snow, well, that'll be to our east entering into the plains, and so we'll be on the full dry side of that storm. Fuel conditions are very dry. They're near record low, and we've not seen any significant rain since late September. In fact, the monsoon, July through September, was dry over most areas. So we did not see additional rainfall in a lot of places of significance. So that means most places haven't seen significant rainfall since May. Here are the predicted wind gusts for Wednesday through Thursday. These would be the peak wind gusts, the area shaded in yellow, or the pinks and reds will be over 60 miles per hour. Those are typically the wind-blown areas that are going to see that, but also notice most areas are shaded in some type of blue, which is 40 to 55 miles per hour. We do expect even some wind making it to the coast of 20 to 30 miles per hour as shown here. The wind really extends all the way down like it does in all these Santa Ana wind events from LA County down through the Cajon Pass, through the Highway 91, Santa Ana Mountains, and then the I-10 corridor, and then focused over San Diego County between the 78 corridor and Interstate 8. So notice that even some strong winds could make it all the way down to the I-15 corridor and even parts of the I-5. Humidity is going to be very low, single-digit humidity. We saw this earlier this month, and we expect to see it again. Despite this being a cool Santa Ana wind, the air is so dry, and with those winds, we expect single digits as early as Wednesday. And then we really expect that to continue on Thursday, if not even a little bit drier on Thursday. We're going to see poor humidity recovery because of those offshore Santa Ana winds, especially Wednesday night and Thursday morning, where the air stays mixed and actually mild, and the humidity is not able to increase much. This is, as mentioned, a cool Santa Ana, but by the time we get into Thursday, we do expect some coastal and valley areas getting around 80. Now, in our mountains and deserts, looks like 60s and even some cases 50s are the best they can do on Thursday because of this cold air coming in from the Great Basin. Speaking of cold air, this could be the coldest night of the season so far, Thursday morning and Friday morning, especially when the winds die off, and in areas that are wind sheltered, we could see temperatures in the high deserts getting into the teens and lower 20s. That is cold even any time of the year. And areas away from there, such as the valleys and coastal areas, dropping into the 40s with the coldest locations, such as parts of the Inland Empire. Yes, potentially along the 215. That's a cold spot. And also down towards Oceanside, getting into the 30s Thursday morning and Friday morning. Here are the highlights for the Santa Ana wind coming up. We are dealing with a weakening, cool Santa Ana wind that rolled through Sunday night and Monday morning. That red flag will expire. Tuesday looks quiet across our region, but then Tuesday night after the sun sets, and especially late in the evening, the winds pick up again and become locally strong. And that'll usher in very dry air for Wednesday and Thursday. Single digit, despite the cool air. We're going to call this a moderate to strong Santa Ana wind overall. Some of the strongest winds in some locales. And we could see wind gusts up to 80 miles per hour in the wind-prone areas, such as the Cajon Pass, the Santa Ana mountain corridors, and the San Diego mountain corridors. Into Thursday morning for these winds, most areas 35 to 50 miles per hour in the Inland Empire and in the valleys and the foothills. And also, even the areas that aren't wind prone, gusts 20 to 40 miles per hour. All the way to the coast, well, sure, we could see some wind gusts of 20 to 30 miles per hour all the way to some of the coastal areas that are more wind prone. So some of those coastal areas that are exposed to that upwind coming from the northeast could see wind gusts of 20 to 30 miles per hour even on the coast. Most susceptible would be probably parts of Orange County, but even parts of San Diego County. Poor humidity recovery, what does that mean? Well, Wednesday night when the winds are in full force, a lot of areas just will not be able to moisten up despite the cool conditions. We look for some of the coldest air of the year, and that will really show itself Thursday morning and Friday morning. Remaining dry, but losing all the wind for Friday into the weekend. So that is good news. The long-range outlook does not predict any Santa Ana wind, at least as far as we can see. Nothing of significance, but the general pattern doesn't really change. So the weather pattern doesn't change overall, and that keeps us on the dry and mild side. All right, make sure you follow the latest conditions in your area. Tuesday is the day to prepare for the high winds and the high fire danger. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and this, of course, is posted on YouTube. Our handle is at NWS San Diego. Please stay safe, everyone. And if there are fires that break out in your area, adhere to all the notices from the local authorities. Thank you very much.